Welcome to my channel.
In a house built on bloodlines, one boy was born to be forgot.
Then Kakentir's voice cut through the air, demanding to know if I was truly present. He then asked if my presence was by the will of the gods.
A golden aura flared around me as I faced him, ready for his questions.
He asked if I carried the blood of Durga Brak, and when I confirmed it, he then asked if my presence signified peace.
I swore that peace was my sole reason for being there, and his grip on my hand tightened. The old shaman, who had been observing, remained silent, a thoughtful expression on her face. My mother, looking concerned, spoke quietly with a warrior nearby, who was chewing on a gyurut leaf. Kakentir and I then walked out together, the peace ceremony seemingly concluded. I kept my gaze forward, acutely aware of the implications of our public appearance.
Kakentir then told me there would be a welcome-back celebration that night.
I simply nodded, letting him continue to speak as we walked. My mother then approached me, asking what Kakentir had said. Everyone was laughing and enjoying themselves, the atmosphere of the peace ceremony surprisingly lighthearted, even with the political undercurrents. Then a voice called out my name in Barik S, drawing our attention.
"Ah, Kakentir, have you had a chance to rest? Good, have a seat."
He looked at me with a calculating glint in his eye, puffing on what looked like a pipe, though I knew it contained something far more potent than tobacco. I simply nodded, giving him a small smile in return as he continued to speak.
Lord Malin at least did a good job raising one son.
My eyes narrowed, catching his meaning.
I heard it's a powerful stimulant for the heavenly warriors, and it would be even more effective for regular soldiers. So Lord Malin played tricks to get that leaf.
He then revealed that my mother had been the one to send me the gyurut leaves, which was an interesting turn of events. I looked down at the pouch in my hands, a silent message passing between us. It was indeed a letter from my mother, asking me to procure gyurut leaves for her, but the precise handwriting was definitely not hers, and the request itself seemed suspicious. This meant Lord Malin wanted me to sneak out the gyurut leaf, and if anything went wrong, he would use my mother as the excuse. I knew what Lord Malin was trying to do, and a jolt of recognition went through me.
Kakentir leaned forward, his voice a low rumble. "If you want to stay safe here." He continued, "Don't show the slightest interest in the gyurut leaf. It's reserved only for the heavenly warrior clan soldiers who go into battle." He added that while he couldn't stop the smoke from the leaves from being used, he wouldn't tolerate questions or interest in it from outsiders.
I offered what I hoped was a reassuring smile, but inwardly, I was already plotting my next move. I considered this information carefully, tapping my chin. My gaze drifted to Kaken, who seemed to be watching me with a strange intensity. My mother, standing beside me, whispered, "Who's that?" Kaken simply smiled back, a subtle, unsettling gesture. I felt a prickle of unease. This was all very unsettling. Kakentir, noticing the exchange, called out, "Kaken, a moment." He leaned in to whisper something to a companion, his expression serious. Kakentir continued his hushed conversation with the companion, gesturing subtly. I watched them, my expression carefully neutral, letting them believe I was simply observing. My mind, however, was racing, connecting their words with the information I already possessed about Winchen's critical state.
The physician told Kakentir that they were uncertain of when Winchen might pass away.
Is there truly no way to treat her?
There is a way, but honestly, I don't know if it's possible. They say we only need a flower called silask, but its existence itself is doubtful.
My eyes narrowed, a spark of recognition igniting within me. How could such a thing exist? I pictured the vibrant red lilies Nurserin had brought me, a gift that was far more than it seemed. The Silask flower, they called it, but I knew it by another name entirely. This was the opening I had been waiting for. It brought to mind the desert, the very place I had instructed my people to focus their efforts. The news arrived, stark and urgent. Winshin had been unconscious since the night before. Voices around me grew agitated, demanding more people be sent to search for the Silask flower, though the first search party hadn't even returned.
Nurserin, why did you bring Ian here? He has an idea about the Silask.
My words hung in the air, creating a ripple of surprise among the gathered Heavenly Warrior Clan members. I stood before them, observing the subtle shifts in their expressions as they processed my claim. Kakantir, in particular, watched me with a blend of skepticism and dawning interest. He slammed his fist on the table, a sound that cut through the murmuring. He rose from his seat, his gaze fixed on me, clearly expecting me to elaborate. I took a breath, letting the moment stretch. Is the flower red by any chance? Kakantir's eyes widened, a flicker of something close to shock crossing his face. I paused, letting the implication of my question about the flower's color hang in the air. Brack is a part of the Great Boreal Empire, and the Imperial Palace is well aware of Brack's alliance with your clan. My presence here, therefore, is in accordance with the royal will, and I demand guaranteed safety and respect, not just as a guest from Brack, but as a guest from the Boreal Empire itself. The heavy silence that followed was exactly what I'd intended.
I made my intentions clear. I was here not merely as a symbol of peace from Brack, but as a guest of the Boreal Empire, and I expected my safety and respect to be assured.
Nurserin, the Heavenly Warrior Clan representative, narrowed his eyes, a glint of challenge in his expression. He took a step towards me, his voice low and threatening. If you were to die right now, would the Empire even send their army? If it's as you say, then that would definitely happen, right? He grabbed me by the neck, his grip firm, and I could feel the hostile energy radiating from him.
I explained that the soul of the Imperial Palace had been passed down for a long time, and that it resided within me. Though I had received this flesh from Brack, my true soul, the very essence of my being was from the palace itself.
Nurserin's face twisted in a snarl, the red markings on his face seeming to deepen with his anger. Good. It's because of people like you that our god brought Madame Winshin upon us. He threw me backward, the silver beads on my cloak rattling as I stumbled. I quickly regained my balance, looking towards the bed where Winshin lay, still unconscious.
Tell me about the Silask, and that he has the soul of the Imperial Palace within him. Is this true?
As Nurserin stared into my eyes, a golden light seemed to ripple within them, and a soft gasp escaped his lips. He faltered, his hand dropping from my shoulder as he recoiled, seemingly overwhelmed by what he saw. Nurserin stumbled back, collapsing to his knees with a cry that caught Barrick's attention. I watched him, my expression calm, as the golden light around me pulsed faintly. Nurserin was gasping, clutching his head as if in pain, clearly stunned by the power he'd just witnessed. Barrick, however, remained steadily by my side, seemingly unfazed by the spectacle. Other members of the Heavenly Warrior Clan rushed to Nurserin's aid, murmuring in concern.
The item I spoke of is in my room. Have someone retrieve it from the heathen's room. And look for a red flower, now.
Chell hurried away to follow my instructions, leaving me to address the lingering doubts.
It's fine.
Then Chell returned, holding a potted red lily, vibrant and full of life, which I intended to present as my first gift as a guest of the Boreal Empire. The chapter title appeared then, a bold declaration, underlining the gravity of the unfolding events.
Kakentir rose, nodding his acknowledgement. Lord Ian Brack, as a representative of my clan, he began, his voice resonating with authority. I gestured towards the lily. Turn it into medicine, I instructed, looking directly at Kakentir, knowing he would understand the hidden implication. Kakentir raised an eyebrow, a flicker of surprise in his eyes. You mean Silesk? I paused, choosing my words carefully. It's been a long time since I started trying to find it, but I trailed off, letting the silence hang. I continued. The exact details of how I came to possess it are unclear, but I do know of someone who might know more about the true Silesk flower. Kakentir's eyes narrowed. A month after the full moon, why will it take so long? If you hurry, you can make it to Brack in 3 or 4 days. I met his gaze, my expression firm. If you want to know more, you have to promise me something first. Kakentir leaned forward, a thoughtful expression on his face. Please go on, he urged, clearly intrigued. Give me, and not my father, priority when you are negotiating with Brack, I stated, my voice clear and unwavering. Kakentir looked at me, a wry smile playing on his lips. The strong becoming the head, eh?
Kakentir's smile widened, a challenge in his eyes as he considered my request.
But giving you negotiation rights is too difficult. You do.
He trailed off, but I cut him short. All right, I'll tell you this. Soon, the Imperial Palace will send their inquisition to Brack. The crime will be treason due to tax evasion, and it's possible the name Brack will disappear entirely. Kakentir's casual demeanor faltered, a bead of sweat forming on his brow. He asked me how I knew this, and I simply stated that I'd heard it from the central government officials who arrived before the ceremony. He squinted at me, clearly assessing the weight of my words. Although I am Malin's son by blood, I continued, driving home my point, I am not his son by law, since I haven't officially entered the family yet. Kakentir and Nursaren exchanged a look, realization dawning on their faces as they processed this crucial detail. Thus, the Empire has no legal way to accuse me of treason, I explained, letting the implications sink in. And I can become the new Lord of Brack. Kakentir scoffed, surprised by Malin's audacity. To think they would send us a son who hasn't officially entered the family, they deceived us. I agreed, then reiterated, I'll say it again, but I am Malin's son. That part is clear.
You, clan head, are the leader of the Heavenly Warrior clan. I trust you will make the correct choice, Kakentir said, then asked if I had anything else to add.
I leaned forward, placing my hand flat on the map spread before us. Invade Brack with me, I stated, my finger resting on the territory, and you won't have to worry about the Empire. In fact, I explained, the Imperial Palace would try to avoid any friction with them, not wanting to fight the great warriors of the desert. Even if a violent situation occurred, I assured them they could simply retreat to the desert if they chose not to fight. The Heavenly Warrior clan just needed to stand behind me. I continued, adding that from the perspective of having been allied with Brack for so long, they could simply declare, we stand with Ian, who has become one of us.
Kakentir, still smoking, asked about the implications of helping an illegitimate son.
He looked at me with a calculating stare, waiting for my answer. I reiterated my promise. If I became the Lord of Brack, I would transform it into the most prosperous territory in Boreal, And for the heavenly warrior clan that helped me, I would show them true strength. It would be the strength of a sincere alliance, I emphasized, unlike anything they had ever enjoyed before. My gaze was firm, unwavering. This wouldn't be a mere trade relationship, I declared, tied by numbers and letters, but one between two leaders who would always have each other's backs. Together, we would pave the way toward an era of true peace.
Kakentir, however, remained cautious, pointing out that there was still a major obstacle to overcome if they were to fully support me. Then he clarified that his concern wasn't about helping me against the Imperial Palace. They had no reason to refuse that, given the treaty we'd already signed.
I simply smiled, knowing exactly what he meant. He was, of course, referring to the fact that I was an illegitimate son, and the clan's concern about supporting someone who technically wasn't even part of the main Malin family yet. But that was precisely why I was the perfect choice. That was the chapter. Subscribe for the next part of his rise.